All right. Episode 15, Play Your Part Podcast, Sports Edition. This is your host, B. We can't hear you, Kevin, because you're muted.
Said back at it again. They call me the Black Hugh Jackman.
My first
All
episode.
right. Yeah, I want to introduce everybody. This is Rob. This is been my barber since I've been in Austin for about 5 years or whatever. Got some good intel and insight. You know how barbershop talk is, really good at the sports portion in addition of what's going on. So eventually it'll come back. So we're gonna go ahead and start off, Kevin, with the first topic. You're on mute again, Kevin.
So NBA free agency just started this week, and or it started last Friday or Thursday evening. A lot of move happened within the first 2 days. And, I was actually surprised at how, like, I know that NBA has more moves than the NFL when it comes to changing teams and everything. But man, in the first 2 days, I feel like it was just nonstop back-to-back moves. I really don't. I said, uh, I said, for them to have like a quarter of the players available that the NFL has, the NBA off seasons are always way more exciting. So let's get into some of the biggest moves. Some people have become these new max contracts that everybody get. We had a couple people sign a super max, such as Bradley Beal and Nikola Jokic, who is now the highest paid player in NBA history. Uh,
And
Bradley Beal got 5 years.
we're talking
You
about
said,
Jokic is the high. We're talking about Jokic is the highest player, paying
yeah,
player.
Jokic is the highest player in NBA history. Uh, Bradley Beal signed 5 years, 51 million. Uh, just looking, Zach Levine went back to the Bulls 5 years, 215 million. Uh, let me see. One of the moves that I was disappointed with was the Knicks picking up Jalen Brunson. I have no problem with that move, like picking him up, but they gave this man 26 million a year. I really, not that he doesn't deserve it. I just don't. I think that the Knicks overpaid once again because I don't think he's worth it. Because you got people out there. They even paid somebody who's already have been on their roster. What's his name? Mitchell Robinson. They paid him 4 years, 60 million. I said, which is still good. But going down the list of people who got signed this offseason, they getting paid like 10 million a year, and I was like, they definitely better than this guy. That's, you know. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, I mean, they're paying for potential when they did the whole Mitchell Robinson thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like they really was doing is paying for potential in that situation. And then the Brunson thing, you're paying Brunson this money off of what his performance was in the playoffs, and that's starter money. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
in my opinion, I think that the Knicks always going to try to overpay because they try to be the first one to make the biggest splash, and then sometimes you could just you know not really wait. You could have really kind of like really tried to like I don't know like try to find someone else, or if that was the person that you wanted to go for, what's the market going for his position? You know what I'm saying? Like we just seen John Wall get released, got bought out, and got released, and he automatically ran to the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't even like try to offer this man some money, or anything else in that try to go for a Kyrie trade or something. You know what I mean? Like in a sense of where we're looking at right now is the Knicks always going to do the same moves they always do. They overpay people, and then they don't have enough to support a supporting cast to go get them into the playoffs. They're still a young team, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just I feel like they just did the same thing that the Knicks always do, which was overpay somebody before they prove themselves or somebody pass their prime. Which Jalen Brunson is still young, so I just don't think that he was worth 25 million. I just share my screen on here. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah, we can see
Uh,
it.
these are just a couple of the moves
Well,
going on.
he got a lot of, he got ties to
Yeah, to the
the Knicks
organization.
organization as a one. The actually used to be Brunson's agent, so
Oh,
it's a lot of stuff more than just is the talent. Me personally, and Rick Brunson is assistant, maybe like or something. I'm not for sure, but actually the on what you did, you paid on what you're gonna do down the line. If it's scores, 6 assists, no, those are all numbers. What do you expect out of him? I mean, if he's able to do that, I think
yeah,
personally he's shown to do that. And the thing with the Knicks free agents is the thing that why they you know was odd. People actually want to be in New York. I gotta drive 2.5 hours away. A problem is
my thing is like, I mean, I get it, and they signed him off. I mean, they give him that money off potential and everything. And like you said, if he come out there average 20, like 6 and 6, those are all star numbers. I'll give him. I said if he's gonna do that, then that's cool. Uh, he's not even gonna be the primary ball handler. I don't think. Man, they still got R.J. Barrett and all them guys, and R.J. Barrett and Julius Randle. Well, you know he gotta have the ball. I got particular feelings about Julius Randle.
right.
But my thing was they gave him 25 million a year, and there's people out there that's arguably on his level or better that's getting 10 million a year. Like I said, Nick Claxton over here, I see it on the screen. It's 20. He's getting 2 year, 10 million a year. Uh, let me see who else on here. Mo Bamba, I would say, has almost like the same potential as him getting 10 million a year. John Wall contract don't really count because he just signed to sign over.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
also like you're looking at your
he's
list.
level.
Yeah, but see, like even looking at your list right now, like you see, like like the JaVale McGee, like getting signing when he signed, and which is with the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you don't see, like I said, when you see a lot of moves, you see a lot of moves in the sense where most of these are either trades or these people just re-upped pretty much for the most part. That's what it looked like. It was all just pretty much where it looked like it was maybe a couple people that moved. But like great example like Malik Monk, he went to the he went he went to the Kings. You know what I'm saying? Like but LA has other moves that they've made and picked up some building some players because they just got like Lonnie Walker the fourth. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah,
They needed some shooters, you know what I mean? LA needed shooters. I'm not saying Malik Monk is not a shooter, but it's just kind of like LA was kind of
I don't
getting
know why he
older.
went to. I don't know why he went to the Kings. It was
Because to be honest with you,
What
all that talk he was talk, all that talk he was talking really was saying like, oh, I'll just want to stay on the team, all that stuff. Yeah, until you get that, until you talk to your agent and they be like, you really want to stay on the team, and they give you pennies, or you gonna go over and sign this Kings deal, even though you may not do nothing, you know what I
yeah.
mean? But you're chasing the check now, so I mean, you don't even know about the LA team what they plans on doing because they still trying to make Kyrie moves. So
It's
you don't
like
know if
Blue
you're gonna be part
Jays.
of the you don't know if you're gonna be part of that Kyrie move. So you just kind of like made your own decision on what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that's really where we all boil it down to because most of these people who making these moves, they're just staying in the same spot. They ain't really going anywhere. Like Like Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown left and went to where did he go? No, yeah, I forgot what Bruce Brown went to, but he's not on the Knicks. I mean, he's not on the Nets anymore.
Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, he went to
Right.
Denver. Yeah, so because Denver just traded away like two of their guards. One's a point guard, one's a shooting guard. So I mean, it's just like, you know, and also the Nets organization don't know what they're doing anyway. They literally everybody leave. They're gonna trade people away. So
Well,
I
they in
mean,
scramble mode right now.
oh yeah, well yeah. So it's just
And
at this point,
they gave too much. The Nets gave
Yeah.
too much to. And then you know they came out and if the Nets, just think about this real quick. If Kyrie, James Harden, and KD, and they had the coach, that would be nice.
yeah, yeah,
All this about KD. I mean Kyrie saying we don't need to be coached. Coach, but what about adjustments that need to be made? What about these other guys, role players? They don't need to be coached either. So I think that was the part they gave players, and it didn't work out.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, and I guess the Lakers is learning a lesson about having these old heads on their teams because like you see in there signing Troy Brown Jr. and Damian Jones, and these are like some good significant players that get some good minutes. And also too, you already know your team's getting older. You need to trade away all your draft picks just to get Anthony Davis. You know what I mean? Which I feel like, you know, in my opinion, that, you know, I would move away from Anthony Davis because he ain't really. It seems like I don't like when I see players just be playing. You know what I mean? Like you just be sitting around and like, you know, me and lackadaisical. You have no kind of motivation to like want to really win. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's why if I was a person like, you know, like LeBron, I'd have been like, no, go ahead.
But that's been a knock on him, like during the off season, that he don't work. He don't put in the work to be good down the stretch. He don't put in the work for the injuries. I mean, you got to think of it. You got to look at it the Lakers standpoint. Even though I don't know, at the end, worth it because they did get a chip out of it. It wasn't ordinary. To me, it wasn't ordinary because it's different. It's a different feeling when you have to travel, like you had to travel, and you had to play in front of that crowd. The bubble was more like, we're just gonna go, just gonna hoop.
It's almost like an NCAA tournament. It was like a big NCAA, it was like an NCAA tournament almost, like where it was a neutral place and the people was in one place. Fans. You know what I'm saying? Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, the whole time you was there, you knew your track to eat. You get in especially like, you know what I'm saying, like the Eastern Conference or the West Conference Finals, all that part. And able to do this and do that, like all that plays a part. After getting all the way to the East Coast, you know that's not an easy task. After you
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's very true. I mean, you did get a championship out of it, but it's almost like when you get your value out of what you got, sometimes it's good to go ahead and try to cut bait and trade them away where you can still trade them away and get some of your picks back that you went and traded off to get him.
Value.
Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, his value is already at where it's at. It ain't going no higher than it is until he performs. But, you know, I would go ahead and trade him away because, I mean, you're building a young core, what you got, but at the same time, like, is he going to be part of your future? And he can't lead. No, he can't lead anything. So that's why he's not a leader. He's a Robin. He's not a Batman. So, like, you know, great example. Like, you know, we got all these young players that the Lakers picked up or whatever. that's a good thing. But then at the same time, like we're looking at, teams like, I would say like in the situation where you're picking up good quality players, but then at the same time, what are you really leaving for the future? Because you traded all your future away when you got Anthony Davis. You see what I'm saying? When you got him, you traded your whole future away. So like, yeah. So like me personally, it's just more like, LeBron ain't gonna. If I was LeBron, I would never sign no extension or nothing. I'm just gonna see what you're gonna do, and then from there, make a decision on what I want to do. Maybe you'll pull a Kobe move, when you just signed it, or a Jordan move, or you just signed it for 1 year for $30 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, play it by ear. I would never stretch my services out to someone who's not really going to. We don't know what we're going to get out of Anthony Davis. We really don't. He's one cough away from getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, I would try to go and trade do that Kyrie move and call it good. I mean, of course, it's going to have to be for Westbrook and somebody else, but I'll do the Kyrie move. At least you have him on a 1-year stint, and you see how it really reacts to what having kept Anthony Davis, Kyrie, and LeBron, and just go from and play it by ear. Not really invested too much. You're not invested too hard into Kyrie. You really don't have that much invested into LeBron, and then you just see what Anthony Davis does, and that's kind of like what the Lakers really trying to play out right now, and just get a bunch of young players off the bench. You got Stanley Johnson, you got the Damian Jones, you got the Troy Brown Juniors. You know what I'm saying? You're getting these you opted in with. So like, some of these moves, and then you got Juan Anderson from JTA from Golden State. That's a good player that's been in the league for about 3 years. So you're getting some young players coming off the bench to where you can be able to have some kind of stability.
Yeah, I said
with draft picks, and I'm not trying to go off subject right now, but the thing with draft picks versus NBA versus the NFL, NBA, I think they kind of feel like they can develop players more than they can like come up to the league and get better than they can actually say. I mean, I think the only thing where draft picks actually count is in an NFL.
Yeah.
Because if you how many that really came out from actually just did their thing, they still had to be developed.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. They still have to be developed. But I think NBA finally got the concept of call it like how the G League is now. It's like the farm league for baseball, where you're developing players. You're getting them. You're trying to get. You can get a raw talent and put them in the development league, get them to where you need to get them to, and then be able to have a person coming off the bench and like see what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like Jordan Poole was a great example of that. You know what I'm saying? So like bring him up, and like once he gets sharpen that tool for him, you can get a refined player than what you would have got straight off, because ain't nobody LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Nobody coming off giving you giving the stats like LeBron. That's like a rarity. That's a one in a generational type deal. So you're like really like, even though you're getting them, you're still having to develop them to the status of what they need to do. Like great example, like it's like certain moves. Like I wouldn't even, like me personally, this kind of probably I'll talk about that when we talk about the KD talk or whatever. Where as far as for I wouldn't, if I was the Heat, I would never try to go for KD if I was the Heat.
Because he's not gonna buy into that Heat mentality.
It's not that. It's just like you just drafted a player that is a good player that you can build around, and then also the Heat. It's not like that they can still they can make some limited moves, but I think that the Heat's problem it's just like consistency of like being able to have a score to like this, because y'all went in the bubble and y'all was in the bubble, but now like we should be seeing a well-defined, well-oiled machine. You know what I'm saying? And we really just seeing it was like digression. not like progression. Because see,
So
PJ Tucker seen the light at the end of the day.
they bring in
Are you talking about for the Heat?
for the Heat to be able to get to go to the championship with it, get to the championship with what they got, right? Because they did it in the to what they so
They should have went this
they
year.
can get there, but they can't get over the hump, right? But even when I think personally,
Nah,
I think they got
I don't
swept.
know.
This is my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would have got
Jimmy
swept.
Butler is not getting
younger.
okay. It would have been a gentleman.
I just
but
they would have
feel
at
like
least got one. That's what I'm saying. I said they would have at least got one.
no, you got too much faith in that situation because certain people weren't.
Jimmy's gonna will you to one win, but he can't do it for 7 games straight. The only reason why Boston won is because Tyler Hero and Jimmy got hurt in the same game.
They need another. They need.
Yeah, but they need. Yeah, they do. They do need a qualified scorer. That's the problem. They don't have anybody to get a scorer like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, really, to be honest with you,
KD the only person out there. What they gonna do? Trade for? I mean, they need a scorer.
Yeah, but then they have to get somebody.
Do it. Done.
All right, before I go into my next question, I'm gonna bring up these trades that happened real quick so far, or the notable ones anyway. They got DeJounte Murray going to the Hawks for Danilo Gallinari and 3 first-round picks. With Danilo Gallinari just signed to the Celtics, so the Spurs just got 3 first-round picks out of it. I don't know how I felt about that. I don't know how Trae Young and DeJounte Murray go.
It's because Gallinari is getting older. The Spurs are not. They're trying to. Obviously, you see that. I'm done with the Spurs. They've been trying to rebuild for the longest, and you had something, but I don't know what the Spurs are doing. They just like I said, I really don't know what they're doing with that. As far as
a lot of draft capital, I don't know how long Pop gonna stick around though.
I don't know. I think he just borrowing himself on borrowed time.
You got Christian Wood going to the Mavericks. I'm looking for.
It's like that makes me think. What are the Rockets doing? Like, and you get all these players that you like the team,
right?
What with him and the boy they just drafted from Auburn? That's the good thing to be around. No,
me
play in. So but that's something they had to build around.
Well, it's several moves of the Rockets. I felt like the Rockets could have made. One move was, first of all, you need to build your bench, some depth on your bench, number one, and that was some veterans. You drafted a guy from Auburn, but that's cool. But at the same time, like, you got to see there's other players, like as we see right here. You could have got, if I was them, I would be trying to get, since you lost, a big man, I would be trying to get the guy from the Chris Boucher. I would try to get somebody like that. Try to get a big man that's young at the same time, replacing the one which you lost or whatever. And then at the same time, like, I would be trying to get shooters, and then also put people around the young core that they got. And this is like, I would have built a team to where it's enticing for somebody like a Kevin Durant to come to Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, that would have been a good fit. But I don't know what Houston's front office is really doing, because they just making a lot of moves that don't really make any sense. So I kind of lost I feel like they got lost after the whole James Harden ordeal, and after that they just been kind of like wandering in the wilderness for the most part.
So two other NBA trades I want to talk about was Malcolm Brogdon to the Celtics, and they really didn't give up anything for him except for next year's first round pick.
No,
And Rudy Gobert to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, and 4 first round picks. I said they gave up way too much for Rudy Gobert, but
And
I don't know how that's going.
and the Jazz, they Danny Ainge the GM of,
mm-hmm.
and you,
Yeah, he is.
oh okay.
I mean, me personally,
The 45 Spider, I'll be trying to get up out.
I mean, if he can hold out or keep them afloat for the next couple of years, but then you don't want to do that. I said because they got, like I said, they got a bunch of draft picks and stuff. Now you got a great defensive point guard next to you. I mean, you still got Michael Conley too. Yeah, they need to make some other moves with that trade. But yeah,
and you know what, and you know what, and this is what the Rockets need to look at. Man, if nobody, I'm tired of people not talking about John Collins, man. That's who you need to get on your team if you want somebody, to really like make an impact on your team. I would. I feel like the Hawks never used him to his full potential the way he should have been used for. I think that he needs to be on the team where he can be able to, not always have the hot ball in his hand, but be a part of the team. The team concept. Because I don't feel like the Hawks used him facilitated him and used him in the right way.
And picking up DeJounte Murray ain't about to help that.
Well, that's just once again, it's just a lot of you listen to Trae Young, and that's the last person I'd be listening to try to build a team. You can't even get your team out of the next round. And it's so sad. A couple years ago, y'all went pretty deep in the playoffs. And I was like, that's the person I would not have sit there and listen to and tell him that, hey, this is my job. If I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired my way, not by the hands of you or the likes of you. I'm just saying, like, in a sense, like I would not even listen to that.
They put in too much power in the player's hands. You think they put
yes
in the player's hands? Star athletes.
Yep.
Not Max Flair.
I wouldn't have listened. I wouldn't have listened to.
I said, I'll take your suggestions. I don't know if I'm listening to you.
No, I'll listen to you, but I mean, some of these moves are kind of like, come on now, you got to think about it. And that it sounded look good on paper when you talk about, oh, I want Kyrie and I want James Harden. You're talking about the same James Harden that does anything anyway to get himself out of any situation. You know what I mean? Like by any means necessary. He doesn't care about how that affects anybody else. James Harden tried to go right to his. It feels like Daryl Morey is the pimp and he's the hoe, and he knows that hoe. He gonna be a high paid hoe, and when he followed Daryl Morey, he know he gonna be a high paid hoe. So like, let's all like get it out to the good. Let's be truthful and honest with you. The good moves that Philly made was just really good role players to have around them, like PJ Tucker. He's a defender. He's a good corner 3-point shooter. And, and I feel like that James Harden has been robbing the league he's been robbing the league, bro. That man been getting the bag several times and not really being able to really, he had one good run that he can really hang his hat on. After that, really, I mean, to be honest with you, they really was all the time a Chris Paul hamstring away from going further than they did. So that's why, me personally, that's just one of those things where I feel like that, he's a sabotager, and like until you make him and hold him accountable for really pulling his weight, then he gonna still keep forever getting paid.
So what do y'all think the biggest off-season move so far? Or
Or where you talk about? Well, we already knew that Zach
KD
Levine wasn't
saying
going
he-
nowhere. Yeah, that's one.
Now that's the next topic. I'm talking about things that already happened.
Oh,
Zach Levine resigning, which everybody knew that he was going to. Another
he
one
said
was
that like before free agency happened.
yeah. I want to pay attention to him. First of all, Jokic being Jokic deserves that contract, having the biggest contract, and then I feel like that. What's his name? Bradley Beal. You just want to get the bag, man. I don't blame you, but man, ain't nothing going on in Washington, man.
It's kind of clear now that he ain't really chasing no ring. I mean, he wants to win, but he's not really like that defines my legacy.
He chasing the bag, bro.
Yeah,
we all know that.
While he still can.
I guess.
right.
Also, another person who signed a.
You don't think he did good?
No, he does.
No, I didn't say he didn't. I'm not saying
suffering. He deserves more.
to stick around with that sorry ass team. Yeah, you deserved it.
Stick around.
Yeah, I didn't say he does. He don't deserve it. He deserve it.
Wait, you set yourself up with that kind of money. Something not be kept involved with it.
Yeah. Hey man,
because he wasn't what he was going to get from somebody else like 190, which is still good money compared.
Yeah.
Who not on that level.
Well,
he was specifically given.
Well, I say it like this: if some people don't have the Tom Brady mentality of I want to win and I get the bag later, that's perfectly fine. It's like I said, like it's a job for everybody. It's a mindset for everybody too. I just feel like that, I won't want to use my prime years on trying to sit on a team that they don't even know what they're doing. You didn't made a bad contract, then picked up a bad contract, and then got rid of bad contracts. Washington, we don't know what you're doing, and then now you got this unicorn that you got to figure out what you're gonna do with. And I don't know. I just think their front office is jacked up just by making decisions. Not saying that but Bradley Beal made a bad decision.
I tell you who's having the best off season so far. The Celtics. Is that what he said?
I don't know. I think he froze. What'd you say, Rob?
It clearly shows that the difference in these moves show an organization that's actually trying to compete in championships and organizations that are trying to turn a dollar.
Yeah, that's true. Great example.
It's not here to like, okay, somebody about a championship, as long as they mind where they bottom line would be.
Yeah.
Who's been made? I think Utah they weren't close, but I mean, and then for you to trade Joe and the guy from Baylor and Rudy Gobert, that sense that we couldn't win with those players.
You couldn't win with
those players to bring it to your organization.
But do you have faith in Danny Ainge? Yes or no?
Me?
We're talking. Do you have faith? You have faith. Look what he did with that Celtics team. You bought the big three, then you had to blow up the big three, and you got draft picks and stuff out of it, and then you had to rebuild it to what it is to the studs and bring it what it is now. Just maybe you got the Phil Jacksons or you got the Coach K's. I think he's Coach K, where he's going to be patient enough to build this team where it needs to be. Rudy Gobert was a liability on defense. We don't have big men. We have stretch fives and stretch fours. That means they don't sit up underneath the goal. Instead of the game, put a stretch five out there. You got to go out there and guard them and let your slashers cut up and dice up that middle section. So like now he's just kind of like a liability. You just going to have to build from the studs. That's really what it is. And Donovan Mitchell is the only thing that you can really build around with him. He's just stuck with the contract. He had 3 or 4 years left on his contract. So like really, and they ain't trying to move away from him. So people
Still
who
young.
try. Yeah, he's still young, but they got the
You don't think Dallas could have
no.
benefited against Golden State by having Rudy Gobert in the middle? Layup, second points they gave up.
Yeah,
I mean, the right situation for Rudy Gobert, I think it'll work. So but the right situation in Dallas would have been a perfect spot for him.
well, Dallas got the right person. They got Christian Wood. Christian Wood is a good stretch five. You know what I'm saying? Like you can let Luka do his little dribble, whatever he does, and or whatever. I think Dallas is trying to just really kind of like get players that's gonna be a good fit for Luka and or whatever. Period. You know what I mean? They're making some decent moves, but it's just only so much you can really do. Luka just got to have some more experience, and I think that bench gonna have to get a little bit. You gonna have to upgrade from these weird unicorn type players that you got. You know what I mean? So, it's you just gonna have to. I think Christian Wood is a good fit for them as far as what they're trying to do or whatever. So I can give you a great example. Bobby, you see what the Bucks are doing. They just re-signed all their players. You know what I mean? They believe that they can make another run and go for it. And I think that Golden State, where all this Draymond Green talk, it's just I just like talking about some repeat. You just lost two benches. Bench player. You lost Gary Payton II. He went to to the Blazers. I feel like that Portland is doing a good job trying to rebuild that team. Or what they're doing. They got Nurkic back where he needs to be at, where he should have never left. You know what I'm saying? Like they're making moves, which I feel like KD going to the Blazers would be a great beneficial to that team. This me personally. I feel like that he did, he would do a great benefit to that team or whatever. Him going there. That's just my opinion. It's a lot of other stuff that, in my opinion, I don't think that KD ain't going nowhere. Because there's a lot of moves that people got to do that I don't know if they're going to be comfortable about doing. And KD's old.
You know who I just saw, or who I said fumbled the bag this off season. You hate to see it. I mean, you hate to see domestic violence in any capacity, but this man just lost millions of dollars.
Bro, that's a great example of what I tell people. I never let anybody get in the way of my bag. And if I knew that you was a liability, you had to go. I don't care if I had to pay for you an apartment for a whole year. You don't need to be around that situation. You need to get out of that situation. A lot of people get themselves in trouble when they allow other entities and other things to get in your way. And it's mostly when you let some of these females get in your way, they definitely gonna mess your bag up. And they still gonna win because you still gotta pay them. So like that's why I just like really like I don't have no sympathy for him at all because you let that situation get out of hand.
Look, if you look at the list right here, these are supposed to be the best free agents that was out there. He was number 6. I'm not gonna post the pictures and stuff. I don't know if it was makeup. I don't know how serious it was. I mean, it seemed like some of the stuff was staged. And
it doesn't matter, man. You got caught with a con artist or whatever, man. She done got you for a baby. Now she done got you for the bag. Now she done got you with no bag. Now you over there looking like you looking like what you did. So
he's
like
gonna be suspended for a little bit. I don't think it's gonna be for like the season, so he will be signed on a team. But also you were about to make if what's his name? The guy if Brunson made 25, 26, you were gonna at least make 20 million a year. Now you're gonna have to go sign this minimum somewhere.
1 year somewhere. Hey man, like I said, people they mess up, they fumble the bag. So that's on them, man. Should be a lesson learned.
You hate to see it.
You see your boy Garland they signed up for the rookie extension.
Yeah, man.
Bye Colin Sexton.
Nah, man, they can still work it out.
Bro, bye. Colin Sexton. No, Colin Sexton. I can see Colin Sexton being on like being on the Lakers or something like that, where you let him do his little thing, but see he want the ball too much in his hand, so I don't see that working out either. So that's why I say Colin Sexton cannot play a role. He wants to have the ball in his hand too much.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Colin Sexton can come off the bench, I would let the Cavs, the roster that they have now, and they supposed to be picking up TJ Warren. I said I would run with that for one more year, but I mean because it's only 1 year. Kevin Love almost out of there. Karis LeVert probably gonna have to get moved. I said re-sign him because it's just a rookie extension right now, like the player option. So it's like if you run it for like part of the season and it's not working out, then trade him away. Cool. But
Yeah.
I said, but right now I say, yeah, definitely give him a chance because he was averaging 25 a game. I don't expect him to do that when Darius Garland is the guy now, but he still can give us that help off the bench.
I just want to see how Golden State gonna have to talk about this repeat they're gonna be doing because when I see majority
they're losing everybody.
They're losing everybody. The only person you signed was Looney, and Looney was just like a stick figure that was just
I was
there.
explaining to my boy the other day. I was like, because they're gonna have to pay. They gotta pay Wiggins. They gotta pay Poole. I said, you already got 3 people on the max.
Bro, I'm done. That's why I wasn't listening to Draymond. He was just trying to put some content out there.
Oh yeah, I didn't want him to win.
I just like what like I said before. I like the moves that the Blazers are doing. You know, going back to what worked. You know what I'm saying? I would go as far as it being like, hey, LaMarcus Aldridge, I know you're not yourself, but come on back. Maybe we get something out of you. You know what I'm saying? I like to see that come back. You know what I'm saying?
He never left in the first place.
No, he shouldn't have left. But at the same time, you know, you had to, you know, do your thing on your own, and you find out it didn't work out for you, like Kyrie. You know, I like to see that. You know, him going back up there. I don't care if it's a role play off the bench. I like to see that. You know what I'm saying? I would even like to see Carmelo going back up there as off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that too. I was like, they said they should bring back Carmelo because they need another scorer, and I was like, if he okay with coming off the bench this time,
he's been coming off the bench.
And I said, you ain't gonna be 6 man either. You're gonna be 7 or 8. But I said I like the moves that Boston made to Malcolm Brogdon.
Well, because you needed somebody to. He is a facilitator, and also his he doesn't turn the ball over. He has like number 6 and being distributing the ball. So like he's what Boston needed as a ball handler, and also he can play off the ball. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hand all the time. He can play off the ball, and you can just allow him and allow what's his name? Marcus Smart to play defense. Like let Smart play defense like he's been doing. You know what I'm saying? He could still get his points or whatever, but he could play off of them or whatever, and that's a good thing that they needed to get somebody.
I said Brogdon ain't no slouch. I mean, isn't a slouch on defense either, though. So
he's not. But at the same time, he got to stay healthy. That's the big point.
Exactly.
You got to stay healthy.
I don't know what the Magic are doing. They picked up Mo Bamba and Bobo. And I was like, y'all already got a center on your squad. You got Jonathan Isaac coming back, and you drafted a power forward. I said, what y'all trying to run big in today's NBA?
No. Well, Rob said it best. Some of these people are just signing a name for a name, and they're not really looking for to win nothing.
They brought back Gary Harris. That's going to be the one who get the most minutes because they got a bunch of shooting guards and point guards. And I like them all, honestly. R.J. Hampton, Cole Anthony.
I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you somebody from used to live in Orlando. The best Orlando days is when Dwight Howard was there and they went to the championship. And after that, nobody really goes to those games. Let's be really true honest with you.
I'll be out there all the time. That's like before the Cavs got good last year when their tickets was $11. I told my brother, I said, man, I'll be down there every home game. I don't care.
Whatever.
I got people who I'm excited to see.
And let's go to the next topic.
All right. So it's Kevin Durant requested a trade hours in the free agency. hours after, I mean, a couple days after Kyrie decided to resign, which everybody knew he was going to do. Ain't nobody giving him that kind of money right now. But yeah, he tweeted out the other day. Let me bring up this quote real fast. It's his first tweet since the trade request. I don't know who he was talking to. He said, the ones who were locked in that gym with me know what it is. They know what I'm about. If you haven't been in there with me, ask around.
Is that the statement from Kyrie?
Nah, that's a KD. That was his first tweet since the yeah, that was his first tweet since
KD definitely is a ball. He loves basketball. I think where the disconnect came in, and I don't give him a long-term deal. I don't even think the next. I think the next. I hope that so we could go see and check his value. But like you say, ain't nobody giving that kind of bread, or ain't nobody giving that kind of bread. But that's what the Nets were probably hoping and wishing. But I think KD doesn't know Kyrie's not going to be there, and the Nets not a long-term deal. So now to go to work. He'll play. He's playing for his next contract this year. So if he pulls what he's been pulling, not to get back off the KD subject, but if he pulls what he's been pulling, then he's gonna sign the net of exception. Makes you. I think that's why KD. I think that's why KD asked for good sign Kyrie long term. But I think it's within his right. I mean,
oh yeah. But the thing is that if they both, well, Kyrie don't want to sign that mid-level exception to be one of the best point guards in the league. He don't want us to be playing for $8 million a year. He's like, this is ridiculous. And I mean, somebody will give him a chance, especially because he's not gonna sit out. I mean, well, he would. I was gonna say he ain't gonna sit out for a year, but I was like, Kyrie would sit out for a year.
You never know, Kyrie. But you ask yourself, if him and Kyrie does the exact same thing he did last year, right? Would you sign him for $25 million on a 1 year deal next year?
25? Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
1 year deal? Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No, but see, me personally,
the same thing he did last year, he does this year.
Nah, the vaccine, he cool now. He ain't get the vaccine, but they lifted the mandate for him, so it's all right. You don't have an excuse. You ain't gonna pull that stuff that you pulled 2 years ago. You just wasn't okay, and you took the time. But you watching the games.
Right.
I said, but you live stream.
Talent. And his talent is there. His talent, he should be getting 40 on talent alone. But it's just the other shit that's surrounding Kyrie that makes it not.
Kyrie got to show up. Kyrie got to show up to work. Number one, you can't just play for 40 or 30 games. You got to show at least play for at least 68 of these games, of these 82 games. That's number one. Number two, Kyrie has to focus on basketball. When Kyrie was focused on basketball, you couldn't show him nothing. That's when you won the championship. You wouldn't do all the antics when you was over there with LeBron. That's why I said people have to hold each other accountable. And I think, KD, you're coming him as a friend and y'all was cool and stuff like that. But everybody can't, everybody work with your friends. Some people just don't pan out and don't do what they're supposed to do. But in a sense, I feel like LeBron will hold him accountable and get the best out of him. He's the only one who got the best out of Kyrie. Because Kyrie, you tried it and tried to pitch a little fit and get mad because you wasn't a man. And to truth for us, which if you look at the damn finals when you won, you was the man. You're scoring, you were up there scoring the same with LeBron. But your problem is you couldn't accept the role that you were in. and be
You
able
only have to do it
to
for one
win.
more year.
Bro, I'm done. You wanted to be the man. You couldn't be the man in Boston. Then after you was out of Boston, you went where?
To a place where he wasn't the man again.
Exactly. So you cried and wanted to be the man, and then when you had the time to be the man, you couldn't be the man. So let's be real. We see when Pippen tried to do it by himself, and see how that turned out. And even when Pippen went to the Rockets later in his life, it looked nice, but the truth is, what you just had to. You was on the you made the move too late or whatever when everybody was almost out there
Pippen
crying.
held his
But
own when Michael Jordan retired.
no, I didn't say he didn't. I didn't say he didn't. But like I said before, with every Jordan there's a Pippen. With every even we see even on Golden State. Let's be for real. Clay didn't play the greatest. You know what I'm saying? It was a team effort to win that game, win that championship. Let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? And finally, Steph Curry finally stepped up. But do I think Steph Curry going to be able to do it again? Nope. I think that was it. You have that one moment in your career where you have that, I call it the impactful moment, and you had it. Now it's there. Now it's not there anymore. I just feel like that Kyrie, the only moments that you had like that is when you had with another co-star that's going to make you accountable and push you to actually play and compete. That's the problem, is being able to play. Kyrie wasn't missing that time like that when he was on the Cavs, unless when he was really hurt. But now you have no choice but to do it. And the only place I think he can be able to win another championship, even though people talking about I don't care about championships, but damn, everywhere you go, you're the hardest person to work with. If they had like a poll on like they didn't like Brooklyn didn't like you. The Celtics damn sure didn't like you. Even on the Cavaliers, you was giving problems and stuff. It's not just, it can't be everybody else. It's got to be you too, Kyrie. You got to be accountable for yourself if you want to play.
Right.
Yeah, we have to be accountable. I ain't like jumping on the Stephen A. Smith bandwagon, but I'm just saying, like, you have at some point as a teammate to be able to come out there, perform, and do what you need to do. All this earth flat, all the rest of the stuff you're doing, that's your own stuff. I don't care what you do behind what you do. Come out here and ball. This is why KD is really mad about the situation, because KD just want to play basketball. Kyrie want to do all the rest of this stuff and come around this big nice coat with your girl and over here like you over here like you Frank Lucas. And bro, and playing like Paul Chris, like you perform, but like let's be for real, we need you to be able to do this consistently. Just play ball. And that's why, and this is why KD wanted to trade. I can't play ball with none of these people. Let's be for real. I almost want to do a parody like they had the parody. Well, I'm gonna do it Ben Simmons. He can't shoot. You're gonna just dash him. Going to put a bunch of shooters around him.
The funniest thing is they trying to get everybody's talking about the trade to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook, and I was like, you gonna put two people who can't shoot together on a NBA that now is based on shooting? And y'all better have a bunch of pick and roll guys or something, or nothing but knockdown shooters around them.
I don't know what they're gonna do. And the Nets don't know what they're gonna do. Because to me personally, I don't know why. Because I think what would happen was which the Lakers weren't gonna do, if they were gonna buy it out, the only place that I could see Russell Westbrook going to for the rest of his life is going back to OKC. That's the only team that said they would accept him to come back.
I mean, they'll accept him, but they don't really want him right now. Just signed Dort to that $20 million. They got Shai over.
Boy, I'm done. OKC got a bunch of picks and they do shit with them.
Those people are developing, as y'all said earlier.
Cool. Well, who?
As I said, they got Dort. What's that guy? Is his name Giddey? I think it is.
I don't want to talk about that. And then they talking about this guy just do this.
They're on their way. It's just a slow rebuild. All right, so we only got a couple minutes left. We go into, or do y'all think that the trade is gonna happen for Kevin Durant? You think he's just gonna lay on?
Me personally, the trade will happen, but I think the Nets are not in a hurry.
Nope.
Both y'all listen to every off out there, and then maybe when the season starts, someone comes game. We might can make a run for this championship. No, I think it's KD. Well, bringing Kyrie in 40 games after the play, I think will be a KD though, unless they hit the Lakers 40 in. But I think the deal definitely gets both of them are definitely probably going to get traded at some point, but just
Yep.
I said if that Laker trade for both of them happen, they gonna have to give up AD.
I don't care. Bye. Bye. Bye, AD. Bye.
We know how
What?
you feel about AD.
Bye, AD.
We don't
You
even
won us a
talk about the
championship.
Lakers 1 week.
I appreciate you for your championship in the bubble. You weak ass nigga. That's what I'll tell him. Because you only were good in the bubble because you had 4 months off and you came in the bubble and performed. Bye, AD. Maybe you can do something over there. I don't know. I wouldn't.
That because they don't have no money. They don't have any draft picks for real.
That's fine. And then you can go ahead and trade AD over there to wherever he want to go over there and let him be over there play with Ben Simmons.
But
AD a stretch.
A win now mentality right there because they don't have a future.
Well, that's fine. Well, that's
be
fine.
in LA and you can lower free agents.
Yeah, I mean that's about it. But bye, AD. You know, AD's on my shit list. And him and Ben Simmons. So them two, whatever you do with them, hey, it's probably the best because one doesn't want to play and the other one just stays hurt all the time.
Yeah, but we don't have to go into the Kaepernick thing, and we could say put the cornerback thing in the vote if you want to wrap it up, or I don't know if y'all gonna stay on after.
Nah, man. I mean, it's up to you. I just wanted to hear about. I wanted to ask you about the.
I mean, I love football.
Yeah, we could talk about that. I mean, we could talk about the Kaepernick thing real quick or whatever. Just tell them the comments on what Warren Sapp said.
All right, so in May, Kaepernick had a workout with the Las Vegas Raiders, and they said coming out of it, they said arm strength and conditioning was positive. That was what sources from ESPN have said. But last week or something, Warren Sapp was on the Vlad TV, you know, the instigator. He was on Vlad TV, and he said, I heard it talking about the Kaepernick workout. He said, I heard it was a disaster. I heard it was one of the worst workouts ever. I'm wondering how the hell this happened and the tape didn't get out, right? I mean, somebody wasn't over the fence or nothing. Come on, man. All right, then he goes into about how drones could see anything. He's surprised the tape didn't go out. Y'all hear that last part?
Yeah. Richard, well, I was with you at this point. I always tell people, you became the sacrificial lamb. You settled with the league. You got your bag. You got your Nike deal. We're talking about football. You haven't played in the league since when? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like don't give him a chance. Yeah. So this is 22. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. So you haven't been playing for 5 years. I mean, you could be in tip-top shape or whatever, but the league has changed as far as what type of quarterbacks that you need. Kaepernick was a good fit for that one team when he was on, and he did exactly what they needed him to do. I'm not saying he was a bad quarterback. I'm not saying he can't be a good backup quarterback, but him talking about starting, bro, you have to like really be on a team that really just needs a quarterback just to fill in the spot. And then it has to be catered to your abilities. We got these new quarterbacks coming in, like the Herberts and Lamar Jacksons, and stuff like that are quarterbacks that can throw, and it's a system already set up for them as a quarterback under, either in shotgun or under the center. I just felt like that Kaepernick would probably benefit in a team that just needs a decent backup quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he'd be good at the Ravens because that'd be a similar type of offense that's already set up for a quarterback like Kaepernick. That's me talking about football, not about all the other stuff you did.
And the thing with Kaepernick has to if he's not going to start in a he's not better than Nathan Peterman.
Oh yeah, most definitely he is. So he is. Yeah.
It's a place for him. It's their role. Because I don't think starting is in his future unless he's on a team. Like if he'd have made, he already had to come. A job away from it. And the game has changed so much.
Totally.
And he never was just great at throwing from the top. He always string and could always stretch the field. But he never come out like an accurate quarterback.
No.
So
that's what I said. It's just a game is
decide he has to decide what he's gonna do. Do he want to get football? If he want to start, he might have to go to Canada.
Yep.
Want to play football?
Shoot.
To do that, stand. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then also at the same time, I feel like that if he played in, like, even if he played in this USFL, you know what I'm saying? Like if he played in USFL, I mean, if you would have played in a league where people could see you at what you're doing now and see how you are doing something in a league, even though it's like the USFL or even in like you said in the Canadian League, either one of them two, I feel like that's just what you need. That's the best opportunity for you to do it in. You can't just say, "Oh, it's NFL or nothing." No, man, you're starting over from 5 years out the game.
Right, and you any type of film on you for 5 years, and show them like, hey, I can still throw this thing. I can still, even though I can still be. I've improved on my accuracy, even though the competition in health ain't damn.
Yeah.
Is what he needs to get accustomed to put up. I mean, I think you can. You got the lawyer stance, like you said, and get some film on you. We had no film on you playing type of competitive football. Hell, I could go out there and man, you could throw passes and I could look good in shorts.
Yeah.
You to run routes, running routes. That's no competition. That's just exercise.
Right.
So he definitely he understand and go from there.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do. Is like them giving you a workout. I mean, it's almost like they're saying like, well, we paid you, so I'll just go away. But even though that you want to go back, you got to look at your resume. If you have, it's like applying for a job. You haven't had a job in 5 years. People want to know. They know why you have a job in 5 years, but you're gonna have to do something. Like great example. People wonder why Victor Oladipo is never the same, having the same ACL injuries. Once you hurt them ACLs, you just kind of like one injury away from getting hurt again. You're just not something that I want to risk a long-term situation on, because for Kaepernick, I got to see something. I got to see a season. I don't care if it's USFL. Like I said, you telling me that no USFL team gonna pick you up because they ain't got on it. They just They just got quarterbacks, and they're gonna come back for a second season. So if I was Kaepernick, I would get on one of these USFL teams, you know what I mean, and go ahead and go out there and show people what you got, because there's players getting picked up off the USFL to go into the league. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say like, you know, this is not a thing, or you don't have nothing. You have to have some kind of. You got to rebuild your resume, and to rebuild it, you have to go out there. And if you want to be a starting quarterback, then you need to go out there and start in one of these other leagues and show people that. So yeah, you got a lot more to prove.
It makes you think like, right? It makes you think if you don't want to do that, do he in controversy between him? And, we just want to always create that controversy. We want to play football.
Exactly.
That's the $1 million question. Do you want to create controversy and feel that? I like personally. I don't. Donald Trump say nigga, they know he's racist. You feel me? I don't have
exactly.
So
yeah.
Quickly, we know you. You don't have to come out and always say that. We know that. What? So what?
Well, I think that's it.
Right. $1 question.
Well, I think your campaign worked, and it proved the point that everybody already knew. So it's all about moving forward. Are we talking about business, or are we still talking about what you're talking about? So, like, you know, at the end of the day, you proved your point.
Right.
And what you did is what it is. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I mean, you know, you proved your point. The real reason why you did the kneeling down. Now, since you did the kneeling down, I always tell people, when you want to start a movement, the movement has to have objectives, motives, and plans for what the future is going to hold with that movement. You know what I'm saying? So if you are out here doing the plans for the movement, that's cool, because everybody knows what you're doing. But now we're talking about personal with social justice, and then working. Because Malcolm Jennings did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you still see him playing. But at the same, no, go ahead.
And if he want to just do the move, that's cool. He should take it.
Yeah.
He doing that move, and he got paid. I think I don't know what he got paid because it was a gag order place, but I'm thinking paid pretty nice and he showed that the NFL was wrong. But the movement being cool, brother, I'm with you, but you need to be strictly about football and not these NFL owners don't want to bring me in because they're racist, bro. We know they racist. You know, we keep saying that. And they're not going to change. It's a good old boy league, so they're not going to change. But he has to make a decision. And it's cool if he just want to be social active and bring awareness to it. You know what I'm saying? And then take football as equation, because what he like other people only did. It's people that fought this social injustice in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing he really did was lost the job, and then.
You got paid for lost wages. So it's almost like I always say, like, if it's about the game itself, playing the game itself, now it's competition. It's always been competition. You always seen a backup quarterback beating out a starting quarterback. You look at Tom Brady. But at the same time, like, we got to look at his play. You know, his play was declining because, number one, his coach left and ended up going to Michigan, taking that Michigan job. So, like, that offense was catered around you. And I had to look at it as on a professional level. Like, you know, the person who beat you out of your position was performing because that offense was set up, that type of offense that was set up for that type of quarterback. So your productivity was going down and decline in the midst of doing all that too. So we got blinded by just what you were doing and what you're standing for, but performance wise, like, it wasn't like you were like top tier and like you was staying up there, like your numbers was up there, but it wasn't like performing when like you were going to the Super Bowl or getting to the season that you had going into the Super Bowl. But now, see, that's what we're, like you were saying. Now it's just about football. It's about X's and O's. Right. Can you be able to perform? And about these racist owners. You already know that, right? We already proved that point. So what are you being able to do is like, you
Yeah,
know,
we
you
already
can't
put
say
that.
all these racist owners, and then when it's time for you to perform, you subpar. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta actually show and have some kind of rapport before you can go and go knock at the door again. Because like we haven't seen you play in 5 years, like competitively with pads on, getting hit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
have you need to have at least a season or two just to get somebody's attention. They got some film and tape on you. They can be like, we could really bring him in and he could be really good backup for us right now. So you can't just come in here and like, like you saying the same thing as what's that?
Bring you in. I can't bring you as a. I can't that be if every day you talk. You talking about NFL is this what I'm saying? It's all this. I can't. It's play for what? Like they both
Yeah, it's
play
a time for this.
this if you or if you Steph Curry.
Yeah.
They not or if you Joel Embiid or if you the guy in Denver or if you Giannis. They can't coexist if you're trying to make a football.
Yeah, but we're talking.
Bring you.
Well, that's why he has to just set. He has to set the precedence and go like this. Hey guys, we've talked about it. We came to a conclusion. We know what we know. I probably got this gag order that says I can't even talk about some other stuff that we had agreed to or whatever. But hey, I'm here to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
Right.
still standing on what I am, but I'm still here to play the game too, try to win the job. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if
you
you're
got any question for me, answer them. Other than that, I'm working right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm working right now. Anything you want to ask me anything other related to you want to ask me anything related to football, then come on, I'll answer. But I'm working right now. You know what I'm saying? In the off season, or if I don't, I go back to my social justice. Then we can talk about social. I want to talk about football. Football is
right.
Before time in the preseason, I'm not spending a rock on the preseason and play football. And I got I can get somebody way cheaper. I can get somebody way cheaper that I defense or the O line that I could look at and maybe sign to my practice squad.
Yeah, and also too. I mean, like I said, I think it'll benefit him if he went to the USFL, play the season, have some tape, and then come back to like the following season and try to make a roster spot. You know what I'm saying? And like have some kind of, like I said, impact and people to have some tape to go off of. So I think you just have to go in and add the situation of, is this a circus or is this something like you're serious about? So if you're serious, you try to go get some tape and get somewhere and do that. But I think the other topic they were talking about is top quarter. What's that? The next topic we were talking about was top cornerbacks or whatever. So on this pro football forum, they have like the tier, like they have different tiers. So like they got Jalen Ramsey at number 1. They got Zaire Alexander that's that's on the Packers. It's number 2. They got AJ. They got AJ Terrell that play on the Falcons. Terrell, number 3. They got J.C. Jackson that plays for the Chargers now. That's number 4. And they got Marshawn Lattimore on New Orleans. That's number 5. Number 6, they got Darius Slay. They got Xavier Howard as number 7. They got Tre'Davious White who plays for the Bills as number 8. Marlon Humphreys as number 9. So that's the top. That's the first top tier. The second, and that's just the first tier. Because like the second tier, it goes along with Denzel Ward that plays on the Browns. You have Practice Surtain, or Dory Jackson. Carlton Davis that plays on the Bucks, and you got the other cornerback on the other side is Jamil Dean, who plays on the Bucks too. Yeah, he's the other corner that they have on the other side. So, and then
it's all that.
Yeah, I think the top 5 list is pretty accurate. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I mean, because they got Zaire Alexander at number 2, and they got AJ Terrell as number 3. I mean, I feel like that J.C. Jackson, put him at number 4. I had to see him outside of that Belichick system. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like that Belichick system kind of sets people up to make people look really good, and then when you take them out of there, they look like average Joe. You know what I'm saying? So, really, true for honest with you, to really look at it is we have to. I'm not saying J.C. Jackson is not good, but we have to see him in another system and have them same type of numbers he had, as he had before, to really kind of solidify. And I always said. Marshawn Lattimore is all. I feel like that he is top 5. I've always felt like that he was been top 5, consistently top 5. Yeah, because because I mean,
I'm the same too. For anybody that plays for New England, I want to see them outside of New England. I want outside of Golden State. You feel me? So I did. See what he's going to do. I think based on the Chargers. If the Chargers if they with no hope, he's getting back. Like sometimes you have to play conservative football and get. Right. I think he's a gunslinger. I think he tries too much to be the other boy in Los Angeles, McVay. It's like if you just want to go back to the last and be out. You want to go back to the last game when they played the Raiders and they went in the top. Instead went for that. He went for the. And now, I do let the game end in a tie, and both of them makes it to the playoffs. And you had the opportunity to do that. Tried to go score. And they stopped you. They're like, oh, well, F that. We're going to go score. And that's exactly what happened. That's why they didn't make the playoffs. And that was strictly all on coaches.
Yep.
But we definitely could finish the top.
Yeah, we can. That. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Rob, for getting on here, man. And most definitely like to keep you, if you can, whenever you have your spare time to join in on this. I mean, today was kind of like an early day or whatever, but usually we start around 1 o'clock or whatever, but I appreciate you coming on here or whatever and giving some of your knowledge on basketball and football, man. I appreciate you.
No problem, bro. I appreciate you having.
All right, man.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Most definitely. This is a Play Your Part podcast, and we out of here.